Disruption break. That's the video. That's literally all you need to know. Disruption break is a perk where if you break an enemy shield, your kinetic weapon, and specifically kinetic element weapons, keep that in mind, will deal 50% more damage to that enemy. It does not have a cooldown and can be applied to multiple enemies at once. And it's overall pretty broken. The three main weapons you'd want this perk on are Greasy Luck, which is rapid fire glaive, lethophobia, a lightweight bow, and explosive personality, a wave frame grenade launcher. The rest of the video will just focus on lethophobia. So, yeah. If you want to watch that, carry on. If you don't, then, bye. Basically. So, let's begin. Firstly, how did the bow get into the game? That was my genuine reaction upon using it the first time. I saw it day one and thought it was going to be broken as hell, and then I used it, like, literally after posting the last video, and it literally is. It just is. It's stupid. So, style-wise, it's comparable with Whisper's Whim, as it's a lightweight bow, also introduced afterwards. It has higher emphasis, the same reload with 10 less accuracy, 8 less stability, and 9 less handling. Fairly comparable, I'd say. It's also a unique weapon even without perks, as it has a unique draw time in its archetype, being a base 612 draw time, which is also the only weapon to deviate RPM within the same archetype. And it's probably one of the several balancing attempts for Disruption Break even being on this thing. Another one of those is being that it's a lightweight bow, as previously mentioned. It means it only deals 87 damage to the body, requiring a headshot to break shield on full health Guardian in standard PvP. And it'll only break shield up to tier 8, I think, in Checkmate. However, most people who run Regizel will only go up to about 7, and any that go higher are Titans, if they even run Regizel in the first place, which people still aren't. So for the most part, as long as you hit headshots, you'll be fine, and considering it's a bow, you'll get those very often, as bows are very easy to use. The rest of its perks are also pretty solid. The third column, the only one that will see basically any variants, has Impulse Amplifier, Successful Warm-Up if you want to actually use the bow, and Enlightened Action for the same reason. If you want to use it in PvE, there's also Repulsor Brace. The fourth column is obviously Disruption Break, alongside Surrounded, Deconstruct, Golden Tricorn, and Nutrition Orbs. The other perks are again entirely for PvE reasons. So essentially, just put Impulse Amplifier and Disruption Break on it. Now, what kinetic weapons are actually good to pair with the Disruption Break weapons, but mainly lethophobia? Basically any of them, but mainly something with good range and high damage per shot. So you would immediately think hand cannons, as they would allow you to just duel people normally and also benefit heavily from having the bow at all. So my first thought was Fawn, which is pretty good, but it also doesn't have enough range to work in passive environments and doesn't one-shot to the body with literally any amount of range outside of the usual, which happens quite often considering you're using a bow. So the next option becomes 120 hand cannons, which then becomes a handling and AE problem, however they do work. That then leads to DMT. It deals 120 RPM damage, has high handling, good range, and is easy to use. It's a pretty good option and works in all ranges. You just need to actually hit your next shot, which again is fairly easy to do and fairly easy to recover from. Then if you want something for pure aggro, sidearms and SMGs exist pretty much. For sidearms you mainly got Buzzard, Allied Demand, and Empirical Evidence being probably the, I say harder one to use, but it's also the one that kills the quickest. For SMGs you've basically got Enyo, Pizzicato, and Submission. There's also auto rifles. They work pretty well, doing both mid-range and close range, while also being very easy to use and have decent damage per shot. And they just gave us Breakneck back, which is a 450, the best frame with good stats, great perks, and it has Onslaught again. Which is really good in this case, as you'll normally struggle with taking out multiple enemies with just the bow and a hand cannon on their own. Then you would just win have enough range with things like SMGs or sidearms that can deal with many opponents at once. making breakneck, in my opinion, the best option. However, you could really just use any kinetic and find success due to how powerful Disruption Break is as a perk, since the 50% boost is enough to make any weapon a 1 to 3 shot cleanup at most. So yeah, that's all I have to say today. Next video will probably be on Breakneck or Bersarius, I think that's pronounced right. So if you want to see those, like, sub, comment, whatever, and adios. So now hopefully everyone's gone. I lied. There's actually another better weapon. And I am reluctant to even invoke its name, as it is a foul beast created purely for those who would want to wreak havoc upon this world and scorch the earth in flame, leaving nothing for those who have to live in its barren waste that would remain. It is a weapon so powerful in this combo that its mere mention can cause a shift in how people play the game, to where I would have to quit the game, as just playing it would be so absolutely bloody dreadful. It's Osteostriga. Auto aim, just over 600 RPM auto rifle range and high damage per shot, alongside the poison blast on kill, makes this thing supreme for this combo and will literally make the game as free as physically possible. And if you don't believe me, well, just try the thing. Just run the Threatling build with it and you could probably run crucible matches while sleeping, it's that free. So now I've unleashed this beast onto the world for real this time, like, sub, comment, and adios.
I've been transformed into rice, please fucking help.